Hi everyone, welcome to my next video. I was sitting outside in my porch this morning, just sipping my coffee like I do every morning in the summer. And I was thinking about all the fun things that I have planned to do. And I came across yet another idea that I want to do. And I realized, oh my gosh, I am having so much fun. And um, it occurred to me that I think a lot of introverts, such as myself, I wonder if we do have more fun than the extroverts who really crave more social interaction. And I don't know, maybe it doesn't make a difference. But I was married to two previous men who were extroverts. And one absolutely loved his job because he was surrounded by people who admired him and did not like being alone at home. And my second husband was extremely outgoing and also did not like being by himself. And he was quite miserable when he was by himself. And so I realized that being alone for myself is a blast. And just for fun, I'm curious how many of you introverts tend to think that we have more fun because all we need is to be by ourselves. And that is certainly working for me. And of course, it has a lot to do with being retired and having all day to myself now. But even when I was a kid, I was this way. I remember carrying home an armload of books from the library. Couldn't wait to go back to my room and sit on my bed and read all these books. And I just loved it. But I did have friends, a lot of friends who would come by and say, come on, let's go to the beach or go to the park or ride bikes or whatever. And I enjoyed hanging out with them. But I think I even enjoyed being by myself more, even back then. So I did something really funny this morning, and I'm going to share it with you because I'm wondering if some of you do the same thing. And I actually wrote a list of all the things that I want to do, and I don't know how I'm going to find the time. But it's just amazing how much fun I'm having out here by myself in the woods. And of course, it has a lot to do with being financially secure in the sense that I'm living below my means. And I perfectly get when you don't have those things to give you peace of mind, having fun becomes secondary. But if you're in a place where you're able to enjoy your time and you are an introvert, perhaps you can relate to some of this. And I'm curious if some of you feel the same way. So I'm going to read you some of my list of things that I have to do, and I never ever have time in a day to do all the things I want to do. Now, first of all, as many of you know, I have 3 self-published books, and I'm working on my next one, which is about being an estranged parent. And that's going to take me, I'm guessing, about a year, because that's going to take a lot of work, but I'm very driven to write it. And so I've been trying to work on that. And also, I want to republish a poetry book that I mentioned, which is a very inspiring collection of simple poetry based on nature photos I take by myself out in the woods. And I relate my inspiring messages to nature. So I need to finish that. And I also plan to get some author copies of that to go to some various craft stores in the area next summer and see if they'll sell them. Oh, what's the word for it? For me on commission. But then there's another fun book that I've had in the back of my mind, and that relates to this writing platform that I mentioned in my previous video, which is medium.com, where I created many numerous ridiculous drawings on my account there. And I was thinking of taking all of those articles, which are very inspiring, rather humorous, all positive and uplifting, and using those drawings and creating a book called Life Lessons from an Old Lady. And I think that would be a hoot to publish that. And I'm even going to do the cover with the caricature of myself in the red dress with my hair flying up in the air, because she is the old lady with the life advice. And it's all done in a humorous way. It's nothing serious, but my meanings and my messages are quite profound. So that's another project in the works. And then this morning, I was just kind of idly looking at YouTube channels and videos, and I came across one for authors, and it's actually called AuthorTube. And the more I looked at it, I realized, wow, I could have a lot of fun on that, interacting with other authors, talking about how I wrote my books, uh, asking them how they wrote theirs, and promoting my books. And that's going to be a completely different channel than this one. And it's the same requirements for monetization. And I have no idea if I ever will be on that. But what the heck? I'm going to try it. So I think I'm going to come up with a channel name like Barbara Martin Writes or something like that. But once I create that, if any of you are writers, I'll put a link in my channel description here and the video once I create that. So that's yet another fun project that I plan to do in my supposedly spare time. And then, of course, I have my videos that I do daily on here, which I absolutely love. And I honestly thought at first it would be too much. And I don't like to call it work because it really isn't. And I thought I would have trouble coming up with ideas. But I'm finding the opposite is happening. Because the more I commit myself to doing a video a day, the easier it is. And I don't understand why that is, but it's true. And I think it is simply when we activate our imagination, it actually works better. And if we tell ourselves we don't really have to think about anything, then we settle more into like a complacency. And I don't want to do that. I have too many things I want to do. So videoing myself in a YouTube channel every day is a blast. So I plan to continue that. And I also plan to continue just different topics, whatever comes to mind. And I'm realizing that many of you enjoy that because you never know what I'm going to talk about next. And I would like to mention that I do pay very close attention to your comments, even if I don't have time to write a response or a sufficient answer. I do read everything. And if you do have specific questions or interests, I do pay attention to that, and we'll create more videos based on your questions and your comments. And of course, I do have all my acrylic paint, and I purchased some, I don't even know what you call them, canvas boards for paintings. And I ordered an easel from Amazon, and they lost it, or the driver never showed up, whichever happened, I don't know. But I came up with an idea to make my own easel. So I'm going to go out in the woods and gather some small birch sticks and make my own easel. I've got my brushes, I'm ready to go, and that's another project that I have planned. And I have to do this before winter so I can find those sticks. Okay, what else? Oh, of course I'm finishing stacking my wood, and I'm taking my time because two reasons. It's getting really hot out here. And secondly, I'm getting a little tired, so I'm taking my time doing that. Now, the thing is, I'm a morning person, so I like to record videos well before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And after that, I like to kind of settle down and take my time doing what else I feel like doing in the day, especially in the heat in the summer up here in Maine. And I've probably left some things out, but going back to being an introvert, honestly, if I ever was approached by a man who wanted to ask me out on a date, I'd probably decline because that would take me away from something I wanted to do by myself. And the only thing I really miss about being married and dating is, now this is funny, but I love going out to restaurants, primarily because I don't like to cook, and I just get a huge kick out of um, picking whatever I want on the menu and not having to prepare it, and then not having to do the dishes. Not in the sense that someone else pays for my meal. I would certainly pay my own way, but that I do miss by uh, going out even with a friend or whatnot. But it's kind of rude to say, I'm sorry, but this is all I want to do. See you later, bye. So, and I also don't want to go to a restaurant by myself. I know people do that, but I just never felt comfortable with doing that. I guess I could do takeout. That would be the closest thing to it. But again, back to the introvert thing. I know many of you are because you've mentioned it, but I wonder how many of you have found that being around other people kind of takes away that fun time you've planned for yourself later. And if you mix it up, maybe you do have friends that you occasionally see, but yet being with other people, I wonder if you think about all those things that you want to do when you get home. And so I really, gosh, I probably even left out some things that I have. Of course, there's one fly always out here, right, when I'm doing a video. And of course, a lot of this has to do with the internet, because there's so many gosh darn things to do online these days, especially as a senior. And, um, but then again, when I was a kid, I loved going to the beach by myself, swimming with my dog, swimming with my horse. I used to love taking my black horse, Charlie, who actually loved the water. And I would hang on to his mane and he would pull me through the water, and I would swim him out to a nearby beach called Brown's Island. I think they changed the name to Crown and Shields, but it used to be called Brown's Island, and I could be out there for hours, I mean, not days. And I remember how I would swim him back, and when it was time to go home, he didn't want to get out of the water. He would paw the water and stop, and I would have to really encourage him to get out and go home. And yeah, I love doing that. And one thing I love about being an introvert, when you're with other people, you have to schedule when you're going to meet them or what they want to do, or compromise because they might not want to do what you want to do. And maybe that sounds a little self centered. Um, but I just love being spontaneous. And day to day, my interests vary, my energy level varies. And honestly, when it's very, very humid, I do nothing. And Shippy and Maggie don't want to do anything either. So there you go. And so I'm saving a lot of my indoor projects for winter, such as working on my quilt, because I'll be inside my cabin for months on end, which I also love. And So I plan a lot of my activities around that because I do live out here by myself. And as I age, I tend to limit my driving and um, stock up on a lot of things before winter, before the snowstorms hit, because we can get hit with blizzards, and being prepared is everything, especially when you're alone out here in the woods. So I'm really curious to hear from anybody, whether you think you're an introvert or an extrovert. And I'm curious about extroverts in particular because the people I've known who were extroverts, they get really restless when they're not around a group of people. And I wonder if that's a commonality with extroverts who really, really enjoy that social interaction. So I'm glad I'm an introvert. I would not want it any other way. And I will never have time for everything that I want to do. But it's fun to have a list, and I keep adding on to it. So thanks so much, everyone. And I so love my channel, and I appreciate you all. And if I do create an account on AuthorTube, which I think I'm probably going to do today, if any of you are interested, I'll put the link. And you are certainly welcome to check out my brand new channel and check it out. I don't even know who else is on there, but I look forward to interacting with all the other authors. It's my understanding that there's a wealth of information in terms of writing, publishing, formatting, which programs to use, and all of that. And I love the idea of interacting with others because I have a lot still that I could learn about writing my books. So thanks so much, everyone. I hope you're all having a really great day. And if you have other ideas, what you'd like me to talk about, or videos to create, or which ones were your favorite, I'd love to create more and answer your questions and talk about more things you're interested in. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day.